The legend of Sirena is one of the most cherished Samoru legends, perpetuated through oral tradition and found in nearly every written collection of Samoru legends and folklore. It has also been commemorated with a monument in Guam's capital, Hagåtña. While Serena's story might seem like just another mermaid legend, it's far more unique, focusing on deep cultural themes of obedience, freedom, and the consequences of a mother's anger. Guahan, and today we'll dive into the legend of Sirena, exploring its meaning, cultural context, and why Sirena continues to resonate deeply with Samorus, especially with Familau'in, women. The story of Sirena typically goes like this. Long ago, in the village of Hagåtña, a family lived near the Munundo River. Sirena, the youngest and most beautiful daughter, loved swimming more than anything else. While her mother tried to teach her the household duties expected of a young Samoru girl, sewing, cooking, sweeping, washing, Sirena only wanted to swim. The river's call was too strong for her to resist. One day, as her mother assigned her yet another chore, Sirena, lost in the joy of swimming, neglected her duties. Her Nina, godmother, happened to be visiting at the time. Finding her daughter swimming yet again, in a moment of anger, the mother cursed her, declaring, "Since Sirena loves the water more than anything, let her become a fish." But the Nina softened the curse by quickly adding, "But let her upper half remain as it is." Sirena felt the sudden change as she swam, her legs transformed into a fish's tail. Her mother, filled with immediate regret, tried to undo the curse, but it was too late. Sirena disappeared into the ocean, never to return. To this day, it is said that fishermen and sailors occasionally glimpse Sirena, but whenever they approach, she swiftly vanishes beneath the waves. Some stories even speak of a captain who briefly caught her, only for her to escape. According to legend, Sirena can only be captured with a net woven from human hair. The legend of Sirena embodies the tension between obedience and personal desire. Serena's refusal to follow her mother's commands as she desired to swim illustrates the conflict between the cultural value of obedience within Samoru society, where obedience supersedes individual desire. The curse invoked by her mother demonstrates the immense power of motherhood, while the Nina's intervention reflects the significant role godmothers hold in Samoru culture. Traditionally, the Nina had authority over the upper half, the spiritual and moral upbringing of their godchildren, which is symbolized by Serena's unchanged upper half at the Nina's beckoning. Serena's mother's immediate regret serves as a cautionary tale, a warning against the harm caused by words spoken in anger. It's a reminder to mothers that impulsive decisions can push their children away, potentially severing familial bonds, as seen in Serena's permanent departure. In some versions of the legend, Sirena briefly returns, appearing along the banks of the Munundo River to confront her mother. Surprised, her mother watches as Sirena cries, "Mother, why have you done this to me? Why didn't you punish me in some other way? You know I am not a bad child." Sirena continues, "Take good care of my sisters and my brother, for I can no longer see or speak to them. Look at me closely, for this will be the last time we will meet." Before her mother could respond, Sirena vanished once more into the ocean, leaving behind only sorrow and regret. While Serena's fate may appear tragic, condemned to live alone in the ocean, it can also be seen as a form of liberation. In the ocean, she escapes the domestic roles traditionally expected of Familau'in, free from societal constraints and expectations. Sirena defies social conventions of modesty, unburdened by clothing or judgment, and lives a life on her own terms. In the water, she is truly free, able to do what she loves most, swim. In this sense, her transformation becomes a symbol of bodily autonomy. This is why Sirena resonates so deeply, especially with Familau'in. In an island culture heavily influenced by Catholicism and an emphasis on familial duty, Sirena symbolizes the pursuit of freedom and self-expression in contrast to the heavy burden of social responsibility and conservatism. She stands in stark contrast to another popular Guam female heroine, Santa Maria Camelin, the Blessed Virgin Mary, who represents the Catholic ideal of duty, devotion, and purity for Familau'in. Serena offers Babauta a balance to this Catholic ideal, embodying the side of life that seeks liberation, pleasure, and personal desire. The presence of a Christian Nina situates Serena's tale within the Spanish colonial period, as do the references to domestic chores and her Spanish-derived names. In fact, in 1971, a 95-year-old woman recounted that, as a child, she had heard the story from her mother, who had heard it from a neighbor who claimed to have actually been there, witnessing Serena drifting out at sea. This places the legend's origin in the 19th century, at the latest, though whether a pre-colonial version exists remains uncertain. It's important to note that the name Serena comes from the Spanish word for mermaid, which itself is derived from the Greek word siren, which originally referred to half-bird, half-woman creatures that lured sailors to their doom. While sirens and mermaids are often conflated, both have traditionally symbolized the dangers of female sexuality. The moral of the Chamorro legend of Serena, centered on obedience and the power of motherhood, sets it apart from typical mermaid legends. In European tales, mermaids are often depicted as seductive and dangerous, luring men to their deaths. These legends portray female sexuality as a dangerous force. In contrast, the Chamorro legend of Serena is of an innocent girl whose story emphasizes respect for motherly authority, rather than the dangers of feminine allure. The contrast between the Chamorro Serena and mermaid legends from other cultures reveals deeper truths about Chamorro values. In Chamorro culture, a mother is both an ordinary woman and an extraordinary source of power, capable of shaping not only her children's lives, but also their fate. Yet, just as Serena's mother's hasty words severed their relationship forever, this story serves as a reminder that mothers must be cautious not to act in anger towards their children, as those decisions can have lasting consequences. As we close, consider this. Was Serena merely a story created by Babauta washing clothes by the river to entertain one another? Or is there more to this tale? Going back to the 95-year-old woman interviewed in 1971, she didn't like how the reporter implied that Serena was merely a legend and told the reporter that it is not a mere legend. I believe it is a true story, and so do many other people my age. If you liked and enjoyed the video, consider supporting me on Patreon so I can continue to produce more Pacific Studies content. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, turn on all notifications, follow me on social media at PulanSpeaks. And a special Seduce Mossy to Patreon supporters Puti'on, Dylan Sablan, Jesse Babauta, Athena-nike, and Reyna, Taitingfong, Aguero Carter. Seduce Mossy for watching, Guahan si Pulan, and Pulan has spoken. Esta.